Bavette pasta alla trapanese, bucatini with broccoli and muddica atturrata, stigghiola or sheep intestines, spleen and panelle chickpea fritter sandwiches, and busiate corkscrew pasta al pistacchio. The cuisine of Sicily is varied, simple, and above all, deliciously satisfying and comforting. You can get a taste of it all at Palermo's Ballaro market, but the market represents more than just Sicilian food. It's a reflection of the immigrant cultures that make Sicily the special place that it is. Our friend from our search for the world's best cannoli, Enrique Bruno, explains.
It's like that in the DNA of the Sicilians, there is this, spirit of welcoming everybody. Sicily is still in the center of the Mediterranean, so today many migrants come to Sicily from North Africa. So while in the rest of the mainland, in the rest of Italy, the migrants live isolated, like in ghettos. They are not accepted, they are not integrated sometimes in the Italian society. In Palermo it's different because especially in the Ballaro area, the migrants are accepted and are helped by the locals, by the local community. Also in the market, they all live together. In Ballaro there are communities from Morocco, Tunisia, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Ghana, Zambia, Senegal, so different dialects are, spoken at the same time. In the market, we see this, coexistence of different cultures. So it's interesting going there and see the Sicilians who scream in Sicilian to attract the attention of people because they want to sell their own products. Next to the guy from Bangladesh who speaks in Sicilian, and he's selling its own roots, let's say ginger or yam, those products that we don't grow here in Sicily. And they all, live together, peacefully together.
You can see the blending of different cultures in Sicilian cuisine, and few dishes are as ubiquitous on Sicilian menus as caponata, an eggplant salad of sorts often with tomatoes, olives, onions, and capers cooked in sugar and vinegar. If you dig into it, you'll find that the dish has roots in the island's historical Jewish community. You might not think of Sicily as a particularly Jewish place, but it is, at least historically. There were somewhere between 25 to 30,000 Jews living on the island when the Catholic monarchs of Spain, Ferdinand II and Queen Isabel, took over Sicily and gave Jews 3 months to leave. You can see the announcement behind glass casing at the Archivio Comunale in Palermo. This was the Inquisition, or as Mel Brooks put it,
the Inquisition, let's begin.
But prior to the Spanish Inquisition, Sicilian Jews and their Muslim neighbors seem to have lived side by side in relative peace. Enrica says you can assume as much based on how Jews named their neighborhood in Palermo, Mesquita.
The Jewish neighborhood in Palermo was located exactly next to the Arabic neighborhood. We don't know exactly when the Jewish arrived here in Sicily, but the evidences, the historical evidences we have dates back the 11th century. So we are during the Arabic domination in Sicily. The Arabs tolerated and get along with the Jewish, and the reverse, and the opposite. In fact, the Jewish named part of their huge neighborhood Mesquita, the Arabic name for their worship place, and transferred to name part of their neighborhood. That's amazing.
Nowadays, there are few physical reminders of Jews living in Sicily. In Syracuse, you can visit Europe's oldest mikveh underneath a hotel. But that's about it. you can better feel the Jewish presence in Sicilian cuisine, like the caponata, the sweet and sour vegetable stew built around the humble eggplant. Eggplant itself is a wildly Jewish veggie. Again, you might not think so. Italians themselves probably think of it as a very Italian veggie. But Italians didn't really start eating eggplant until the 19th century. Pellegrino Artusi was the Italian Julia Child of his day. In his 1891 cookbook, La Scienza in Cucina e l'arte di mangiar bene, The Science in the Kitchen and the Art of Eating Well, he wrote that Christians long despised eggplant as, quote, vile food of the Jews. Lovely. There are a lot of theories about the medieval origins of caponata.
The name caponata comes from capone fish. Capone fish is the mahi fish. In Italian is lampuga. In Sicilian is capone because in the past the main ingredient was the fish, was the capone fish. And this was a dish that was prepared by the wives of fishermen, because they didn't know how long they could stay on the fish boats, and the wives used to prepare for them this dish with fish, olives, celery, onions, a little bit of tomato, sweet and sour, so with vinegar and sugar in order to preserve the dish for a couple of days at least. Then poor people in the next centuries, actually we don't really know when it was invented, but poor people couldn't afford the price of the fish, of the capone fish. It was too expensive for them, and the fish was replaced with the eggplants.
Whether that's true or a bit of folklore, who knows? What's likely true is that Sicilian Jews made caponata on Fridays and ate it for Shabbat lunch the next day. Sicily is home to some of the ancient world's most pristine ruins, like Greek and Roman theaters in Syracuse. But few places beat the pleasure of wandering around Ortigia, itself a small island in the historical center of Syracuse. Eric Squotto is a chef born and raised in Ortigia. After seeing the sights with his wife Serena, he invites me into his childhood home to show me how he makes caponata.
The important you can prepare is separated the ingredients separated. First you can put the aubergine, later the peppers, the celery and the carrots together. So when you fried these ingredients, you can put together. Non si può mangiare subito.
After the caponata is made, I get a bonus lesson on making mal tagliati, or literally bad cut pasta. It's leftover fresh pasta cut at random, served with tomatoes and basil. Then, Eric's mom shows me how to roll gnocchi off a fork and watch with great patience as I, did it incompetently.
Forte.
Forte.
Schiaccia. Press.
Better to leave it to the nonnas. At the end, it all comes full circle with some homemade cannoli and a little old-fashioned entertainment. Pleasantly plump, I walked over to the Neapolis Archaeological Park for a jaunt around some of the nearby Roman and Greek ruins. That's when something occurred to me. So now nearing the end of this trip, feels fitting, and I'm ending it essentially where Syracuse and Ortigia began, during the Greek period. At least, I think during the Greek period. Hopefully I was paying attention. One of the things I think I enjoyed most about my short trip to Sicily is the pride in which people seem to take, and the fact that they've been conquered a lot, or the word they kept using, I think probably translated directly from Italian, is dominated. So you hear a lot like during the Arab domination, during the Spanish domination. It's like, whoa, I think there's a club for that in Berlin, the domination, if you're into that kind of thing. I don't think I've been any place else that's been like, yeah, we've been conquered by a lot of people, and so now we're all mixed up. It's kind of nice. Sorena puts it a little more nicely.
2,750 years of history of Syracuse are saved in this nice jewel of the Mediterranean Sea. I think the combination of different culture. This is the main characteristic of Ortigia and of Sicily.